Silence filled the chamber. The officer continued. Humanity seeks peace, but peace does not mean weakness. And negotiation does not mean surrender. Behind him, the Titan-class warship shifted slightly, its weapon ports glowing like waking eyes. The message was clear. Negotiate fairly or suffer consequences. One alien finally whispered, Are you threatening us? The human officer leaned forward. No, this is a warning. The chamber froze. Humanity was done being underestimated. The Vorthan diplomats tried to regain their confidence, but the presence of the Titan-class warship hanging outside their viewports made every word feel heavy. Their plan had collapsed the moment that giant ship arrived. Now they were reacting, carefully, nervously. The human officer remained calm inside the hologram, hands behind his back, eyes focused like a commander who had already seen the outcome of this meeting. State your terms, one alien finally said, forcing courage into his voice. Our terms are simple, the human replied. Respect humanity's borders. End all covert operations. Stop manipulating our colonies. And recognize Earth as an independent power. A ripple of shock went through the Vorthan Council. You demand too much, their leader protested. You cannot. The human officer raised a hand. Outside, the Titan-class warship moved again. Slowly, silently, but every alien felt it like a shift in gravity. Its side panels opened, revealing weapon arrays that glowed with rising blue light. Even idle, the ship radiated overwhelming strength. This is not a demand, the human clarified. This is balance. A deep hum vibrated through space as the warship charged its main core. Not as an attack, just a reminder. The energy signature alone caused Vorthan sensors to overload. This ship can destroy a moon, whispered one alien officer, horrified. And it is only one of many, the human officer said quietly. That sentence hit harder than any weapon. The Vorthans realized something terrible. If this was only one Titan-class warship, then Earth had risen far beyond their intelligence reports. The human officer leaned forward. We want peace. But if your alliance continues to provoke us, his voice lowered, humanity will answer. The silence was suffocating. Even without firing a shot, Earth had already won. While the Vorthan diplomats struggled to remain calm, their military commanders monitored the Titan-class warship with growing fear. Every scan, every reading, every energy pulse from the giant vessel made their screens glitch. It was beyond anything they had prepared for. But then something even more shocking happened. A second signal appeared, not from the Titan class, but from the tiny ship that had been drifting quietly before it. One alien officer zoomed in and gasped. That small vessel, it's activating something. The lone human ship, once considered useless and broken, began to unfold its panels like a flower opening in slow motion. A dim blue core glowed underneath, pulsing in perfect rhythm with the Titan's main reactor. That pattern, whispered another officer. They are linked. They are synchronizing. The human officer in the hologram nodded slowly. You wanted to know why this small ship was here, he said. It's our newest technology. You saw it as weak. But in truth, it is the key. The Vorthans watched in confusion. In simple words, the human continued. It is a beacon. The tiny ship released a wave of energy that traveled across the Vorthan border. It passed through asteroid fields, nebula clouds, and sensor stations. The wave didn't attack. It mapped every alien installation, every hidden outpost, every secret fleet position suddenly appeared on the Titan's displays. Humanity knew everything. The Vorthans froze in terror. You scanned our entire territory with one small ship? The alien leader whispered. The human officer nodded once. Humanity does not show all of its cards. Not until necessary. The Titan-class warship powered up even further, bright blue veins glowing across its hull like lightning trapped under metal. Now, the officer said quietly, decide how you want this negotiation to end. The Vorthan Council chamber had never been so silent. Every diplomat, every officer, every advisor stared at the hologram of the human officer, and the Titan-class warship glowing behind them like a rising metallic sun. The tiny beacon ships can still echo through their systems, reminding them how deeply humanity now understood their territory. It was no longer a negotiation. It was a choice. The human officer spoke softly, but his words felt heavier than any weapon. Humanity does not seek war, but we will never kneel again. Decide now, peace or conflict. The Vorthan leader swallowed hard. For the first time in generations, he felt fear, not of destruction alone, but the power humanity had gained without anyone noticing. The Titan-class warship had not fired a single shot, and yet it had defeated them completely. Humans, he said slowly, we choose peace. The human officer nodded. Then let this be the first honest agreement between our species. A document appeared in the hologram. Simple, clear, fair. No threats, no domination, just balance. The Vorthans signed it with shaking hands. Outside, the Titan-class warship dimmed its weapons, the blue glow fading into calm light. The tiny beacon ship folded its panels back and returned to its quiet form, drifting peacefully beside the giant vessel. As the human delegation prepared to close communication, the Vorthan leader asked one last question. How long have you had such power? The human officer allowed a small, knowing smile. Long enough. But we only reveal it when the galaxy forgets who we are. The connection ended. The Titan-class warship turned slowly, engines igniting like a sunrise. With a deep hum, it jumped into hyperspace, disappearing in a burst of blue light. The galaxy learned a lesson that day. Humanity wants peace, but will never again be underestimated. 3,000 years ago, in ancient imperial archives, there were forgotten reports, old, damaged, classified by the Emperor himself. Reports about a young species from a blue planet who asked for peaceful entry into the galaxy. Humans. But the Empire rejected them. Not just rejected, attacked them. The original records showed human ships were small, weak, learning technology for the first time. They wanted allies. They wanted trade. They wanted to grow. But the Empire feared their rapid evolution, feared their intelligence, feared that one day humans might challenge imperial power. So they erased Earth from the star map, destroyed early human colonies, wiped out entire settlements in silence. And then the Empire declared humanity lost time. But humans didn't die. They escaped into dark space and disappeared for 3,000 years, only to return transformed into something unimaginable. On the bridge, Threx spoke quietly. We tried to erase them, and now they stand before us, stronger than the rest of the galaxy combined. The human fleet slowly powered up their weapons, not aimed to fire, but to show what they could do. Rings of energy rotated around their ship hulls. Cannons aligned. Engines glowed with unnatural light. Then the human voice spoke again, calm but heavy. We seek only the truth, and repayment for what was stolen. Every Imperial officer froze. What was stolen? Admiral Threx whispered the answer. Earth's future. Their right to live. Silence covered the Empire's border. Billions watched the screen, unable to believe what they were seeing. 13 human warships, each one stronger than an entire Imperial fleet, stood perfectly still, waiting for the Empire's answer. Admiral Threx's voice trembled as he stepped forward. Human fleet, state your demand. The reply arrived instantly. Return what you stole. The Empire's officers looked at one another in confusion. What did we steal? A planet? A technology? A resource? But deep inside, Threx already knew. He opened an ancient encrypted archive he had not touched in decades. The screen displayed a symbol he prayed to never see again. Project Eclipse. 3,000 years ago, the Empire had discovered something extraordinary on Earth. Something powerful, ancient, and not created by humans. A relic capable of rewriting physics itself. The Empire feared allowing humanity to study it, so they seized it, erased the records, and attacked every human colony before the species could rise. The humans were not here for revenge. They were here for the relic. The human voice spoke again, firmer now. You took the celestial core. It belongs to Earth. The Empire's entire command room fell into shock. The core was the most powerful artifact in the galaxy, now stored deep inside the Imperial throne vault. Threx whispered, "If we return it, they will become unstoppable." But keeping it meant war the Empire could not win. Outside, the human fleet rearranged its formation. Their weapons turned, not to fire, but to show precision that terrified even veteran soldiers. It was a silent warning. Time is running out. Admiral Threx closed his eyes, realizing one truth. The Empire had committed the first sin. Humans had simply come for what was theirs. The Galaxy Empire had never faced a moment like this. 13 human warships waited outside their borders, silent, calm, but powerful enough to erase fleets within seconds. Every Imperial citizen, soldier, and leader watched with fear and disbelief. Admiral Threx knew there was no escape. Not this time. Not against a species that had survived extinction, vanished into the dark, and returned as something greater. He opened a direct channel to the human fleet. "Human Commander, the Celestial Core is inside the Imperial throne vault. Only the Emperor can authorize its release." A long pause followed. Then the human voice replied, steady and controlled, "We will not fire as long as the Empire chooses honesty today." For the first time in centuries, the Emperor himself stepped into the command hall, old, proud, and shaken. He faced a human fleet on the main screen. "We kept the core," he admitted. "We feared what you would become." The reply was calm but sharp. "You feared our potential. You feared our rise. But we rose anyway." The Emperor lowered his head. Hours later, the celestial core was brought from the vault, glowing, pulsing like a living star. Imperial guards carried it to the border station where a human shuttle waited. As the humans reclaimed their relic, something unexpected happened. The 13 human warships dimmed their weapons. Their engines lowered. Their formation relaxed. They were not conquerors. They were protectors of their lost heritage. Before leaving, the human commander sent one final message. "We do not seek war, but never again will Earth be silenced." The human fleet vanished back into the dark, leaving the Empire trembling. Admiral Threx looked at the empty space and whispered, "Humanity didn't return for revenge. They returned to claim their future.